everyone and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if not, welcome. I'm Ashley and I'm actually going to be filming a weekend reading vlog. I filmed a 24-hour reading vlog prior to this and I'm still unsure if I'm going to put it up. So if you see two reading vlogs fairly close to one another, that is why. However, I am not the best vlogger. I definitely am not cognizant of filming what I'm doing, like my day-to-day, because for me it's very much so like, ooh, okay, are we good? It's very much so a comfort routine and I'm not used to having a camera propped up, as you can see, because I just kicked it. However, I feel like I'm pretty far behind in what I usually read like in the course of a month at this point. It's March 20th today and I think I'm only like maybe 8 books into the month. I'm checking my story graph. So I would like to get some more reading done. I finally got Middle Game from the library and I think I have like 5 hours left of that, and it's gonna go back to the library soon because I'm irresponsible. So I would like to finish Middle Game just because I am fully not interested. At this point, I definitely wanted to pick it up because I wanted something more like fantasy, more magical, but it's definitely not for me. So there's that, but I'm 70% of the way through and I don't usually do enough books, like very, very rarely do I do enough of books, so I have to be hating it. So because of that, I am going to finish it despite not liking it. And on top of that, I want to like get to 2 books over the course of this weekend. The first and like my most important, like I will be like reading this book during the weekend, is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. In the previous seen or maybe unseen vlog that I did, I was hoping to get around to this, but I wasn't pushing myself to like speed read in order to like read this, because I really, even pre-reading it, can like resonate with the book a lot and know I'm gonna enjoy it. So I have to get to this. I'm very excited to get to this. I'm probably gonna like read it physically because I have the book, and also listen to it on Scribd. And then my last Amazon like Audible credit that I had, I used it to buy Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade, and I definitely want to get to that as well. I have probably had it for a couple months now and just haven't gotten around to it, and it seems like super sweet. It's definitely like pretty like fandom heavy, as I can tell, and I tend to enjoy like fandom books if they're done well, and from the feedback it sounds like this is done pretty well. So I also want to read that, so hopefully I could get like 2 1/3 book done over the course of this weekend. New York City schools in specific, but I know a lot of other school districts across like the United States are going back to school on this like coming Monday for like the last 9 weeks of school, and I'm no exception. I'm currently placed at a high school as like a social work intern, and that means I'm gonna go back into the school building. So it'd be nice to just relax, chill, do a lot of reading and like homework and stuff like that before I'm like back in the building. I also, a couple of weeks ago, I signed up for, I think it's called Studio Mimi Ceramics, something like that, but I'll put it up here on the screen. I signed up for her class, but it was like during like my midterms week, so I wasn't able to go to it like the day it was like actually free. And because of that, I am going to be doing it by myself, like based off of the recorded video that they sent out, and I'm very excited for that. I want to make some like ceramic cats, which is what the class was for. I love that shop a lot, and there's this one like Christmas tree like ceramic cat that I've been like obsessed with, and I haven't gotten a chance to get my hands on it because it hasn't been available for sale for a pretty like long time. So I don't want to remake that, but I do want to make some like cute cats, and I have some ideas. So I would also like to do that across the course of the weekend. I also really, really like, if nothing else, on top of reading, I need to do my like habit tracker and like reading log for March. It is March 20th when I'm recording this today. That was my phone I dropped. I have never known to be responsible. And like, I love doing it. This is my February one. But once again, we're on March 20th. And the March section is blank, so I have to do that today. Thankfully, I'm like pretty good at like posting on my Instagram, so I'll be able to fill out my habit tracker pretty well. But we're gonna do that. I am gonna start, I think, spoiler alert. And if not spoiler alert, middle game. And then I'm gonna watch the cat class and start crafting cats. So hopefully, I'll be smart and stick some footage of that in here. If not, I'll check in with you with an update on the book. Okay, bye.
Flight risk. Timeline 0015 PDT June 16th, 2016. Same night.
Hi, I'm back. This is the third time I tried to record this because I live at home, so people love to walk into my room. The sun is going down, so weird lighting and rainbows from my sun catcher. That being said, it's been a couple of hours and I finished middle game. I'm giving it 3 stars, but with like a caveat to that. I definitely think that it didn't work for me personally, but if you're the type of person who like tends to enjoy like fantasy, sci-fi, very like adventurous and mysterious storylines, this book is definitely like something that I would suggest that you pick up. What didn't work for me was that I wasn't able to connect to either of the characters. Both of them throughout the like entire course of the novel come off to be like very childish to me, which like, especially because at the end of the novel they're like 26, 27 years old, which is like pretty much my age. It like started to be like, okay, we need to get over this, you guys. I understand that it was really difficult for them because as they started to learn about themselves and like who they are and what role they played, it was really hard because they didn't have like that identity ever like fully grasped. Even like towards the end, they're like still really struggling with like who they really are and like what they can do and like what power they have. And of course, because of that, there's like a lot of fear that comes into play. But I just feel like even outside of that, the way that Roger and Dodger interacted with one another and the people around them, they're like the main cast, and outside of that was often like very childish, very like almost like kids wanting to have friends, but because they have like this bond and they're like twins and two halves of the same coin, it really calls for situations where, like, even when they're, like, trying to make friends, things weren't ever, like, fully right or fully clicked for them. So there was that. I definitely also, like, alchemy really borders the line of sci-fi for me. So there were moments where I just was confused and didn't know what was happening. But I think that the greater concept of the novel is, like, amazing. It actually is very well executed. I also love that we play with time a lot throughout the novel, and it's not set up in, like, a Groundhog Day, like, situation, or Groundhog Day, where we're, like, in this forever time loop. Like, time moves and shifts and change, but it's, like, more so it, like, bending rather than it breaking. So even as time changes, we still get this, like, steady progressive line throughout the novel, which was, like, really great for me. Honestly, I would suggest this book. Even, like, hearing me say that I'm giving it 3 stars, I honestly, like, would recommend this book. I understand why people are giving it 5 stars, and I do agree that it's an amazing book. It just simply did not work for me. I also had therapy in the time that I was gone, and so I kind of just want to, like, relax, pretty much, like, process, like, what came up in session, and make some cats. My camera is dying now because I had to record this section several times, so I'm gonna have to charge that, so you may or may not see cats. But you'll see cats at some point. Okay, bye. Hi everyone, just a little check-in before bed. I had lunch earlier, and then I basically just crafted this, like, little cat out of clay for a couple hours. I use, like, Crayola's air dry clay because I got myself, like, a 5-pound container of it. And I'm actually, like, absolutely adoring this little cat right now. You can definitely tell it's homemade, like, it's a little wonky, but that honestly makes me think that it's even more endearing, and I'm proud of myself because I'm the type of person that I won't start any form of, like, arts or crafts at all unless I think that I'll be proficient in it. So I'm trying to break out of that habit, and clay is definitely, like, a medium that I'm new to. I don't use clay a lot. I just recently started using, like, Sculpey in the last couple, like, months, and I'm using this air dry clay that I've never used before, and it actually went, like, pretty okay, pretty well. Once it dries, I think it takes, like, 3 days to dry, I'm gonna paint it into a little calico cat, which I'm very excited about. I also got an order from this other from this other small business that I'm obsessed with, which is Heidi Moreno. She goes by Heidi. We will post, like, stuff over here. I have been meaning to get more art for my walls and, like, properly display them, so I think I might go to IKEA tomorrow and get myself some frames for these. But I just am adoring these things. I got 3 for $30, so this is the first one I chose. This is Frog and Toad and Cat. Very adorable, so cute. And then I got this raccoon that's, like, snacking on the peach. Also super cute. Love it a lot. And then this one I've been looking at for about a year now. Coraline's one of my favorite films. A huge comfort film for me, so I'll watch it, like, at least 10 times a year. And Heidi Roof has this cute, like, Coraline print that they drew. I've been meaning to pick it up, and I finally bit the bullet and did it. And I think it's adorable. So I'm very excited to put all of these on my wall. Also, what I love about, like, the small artists that I tend to follow is that their packaging and, like, their business cards and stuff are, like, really sustainable. So you can either recycle them, compost them, or reuse them. And, like, the thank you cards in particular that a lot of them do are, like, bonus, like, mini art. So these are 2 thank you cards that, like, came with Heidi Roo's stuff, which I think are adorable. This second one, chef's kiss, obsessed with it. So cute. I think I'm going to put this on my cork board because I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I want to see it every single day. If I wake up and look at this, days will automatically 10% better. But now that I got all of this, I am going to start, spoiler alert, it covers Marcus and April, Marcus is actually an actor, but he writes fanfic for the same like series slash fandom that he's in. And April is also in that same fandom. She's also online, and like this is like almost her secret world as well. Nobody in like her life knows that she like posts online for this fandom. But one day, I believe she cosplays one of the characters, and her photo goes viral because of fat phobia, honestly. So Marcus ends up reaching out to her, and he says that he wants to take her out on a date because he thinks what's going on like with her is like super bad and horrible, but also he thinks that she's actually like really beautiful. And they end up like going out on this date together. He starts to get to know April, and he realizes that like this isn't just like a publicity stunt. He like actually really likes her. But what they both don't know is that they actually have and do constantly interact online through like these like forums and like websites they use. Marcus like writes fanfic for the series, and he's like really popular, and because she like is also in the same fandom, like they've interacted a lot and have like this established friendship already. So I'm really excited to read that. I like read that like trope concept whatever in books, especially fandom specific books, a lot actually. And I don't think I've ever, maybe short of one book, like enjoyed the execution of it. So I'm really looking forward to reading this because I know a lot of people did enjoy, like, spoiler alert. And I also am very excited because Marcus is a character who has dyslexia, and he deals with dyslexia in his everyday life, and he's been able to navigate like things that crop up because of his dyslexia and become like this like really popular fanfic writer and like follow that hobby and passion of his, which I love. I think there's like a lot of conversation like in real life and also in like literature about how children often like have these like learning and like reading disabilities and things like that. And I feel like a lot of the time we stop talking about how most of these disabilities, if not all of them, like aren't things that people grow out of, but they like live with through adulthood as well. So it's nice to see a character who's like was struggling as a child with dyslexia and now has been able to like navigate like things that happen because of their dyslexia and still be able to pursue things that they're interested in, like writing fan fiction. And I'm so excited. So I'm probably gonna start that tonight. Hopefully I'll finish it tomorrow, and then I'll start Honey Girl, but I'll either check in right before bed or tomorrow morning. But I'll talk to you guys later. Hey everyone, it's Sunday morning, and I'm about halfway through, spoiler alert, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Both Marcus and April are characters that are being very well developed. We get to see their interactions with their family in the present day, which is something I really enjoy. I hate when we discuss topics of like childhood pain and trauma and don't see how it continues on into adulthood, and that's something that is like very present in this book because they talk about how their parents like believe them to be this specific way, and it's really affected them even as adults because their relationship is still continuing on that path. So Marcus believes himself to be like really stupid because his parents like had a lot of difficulty with him when he was younger in school because he had dyslexia and they weren't aware, which I didn't understand how because both of the characters are a little older. I think she's 36 and I believe he's 40, but I feel like dyslexia has been around for a really long time, so it was very confusing to me that his parents, who were both private school teachers, didn't understand that he had like a learning disability. But because they were really struggling with him, he believed himself to be like stupid. They thought he was like a lazy student and just like wasn't interested in like learning, which wasn't the case. He just needed more time to read, and when they weren't giving him that time, he felt like really small, so he would just start saying that he didn't enjoy those things and didn't want to learn about those things. And when he interacts with April both online and in real life, she gives him the like all the time he needs. She understands that like he has dyslexia, and she's like, okay, well, you can have more time to read that if you need. Or he'll ask her questions about her job, and she'll explain everything to him without like thinking he doesn't care because of this persona he's built for himself as like this kind of like stupid, vapid like actor, which isn't the case. And then for April, her relationship with her mother is strained because of her weight. Her mom has always been concerned about how she looks and how she's being perceived by other people. She'll constantly like try to suggest that she wears like a different outfit or something like that. And it definitely hurts her because even as an adult, she's still having those conversations with her mother. And those conversations also happen outside of the home because her relationships with men go down the same like path. So they'll ask her to go on like walks with her constantly or suggest like they work out together, and it's really been hurting her for a very long time. And you see, because both of them have like this issue with like trust and are dealing with these like childhood pains, that they really are connected with one another and they really see one another on this like fandom in a way that they both need as a support system. And then when they interact in person, it's so sweet because you see how they're still struggling with it, but also how they're like getting everything that they thought they didn't deserve, and it's so good. April's also at the point where she's like starting to stand up for herself as like a fat person, and also standing up for like fat characters, and talking about this like greater discussion about how she tends to read fanfic in the community that she like really loves and enjoys and like cares about and wants to be in, but a lot of the things she reads will have like fat phobia in the characters, or the fat characters are seen as greedy or lazy and like inherently ugly, which is something that she struggled with because of her relationship with her mom and her relationship with men, and it is so good. I'm kind of scared to see how the second half pans out, just because they still haven't had the discussion that Marcus and her have a relationship online. Marcus is aware, but she still isn't. And I know that's really going to hurt April, but I'm hoping it turns out good because I love the both of them so much. And I love how the story is being built and how their characters are being built. So let's hope that it's good. I'm going to finish it up this afternoon probably. And then I'm going to start Honey Girl. So I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, so I'm back from IKEA. I got 3 black frames. One is like housing a portrait I got done from a small artist, but the other 2 are on these prints that I got from Heidi Rue, which they look so good. I'm so happy. And then I got 2 white ones, which I wasn't expecting. I thought I was going to get all like black ones, but I actually really love these like almost like shadow box frames. So both of these are also super duper cute, so I wanted to get those and I'm really excited. I was out for a really long time because I went to pick up some stuff at the grocery store and I stopped to Daiso for some snacks. But I also finished, spoiler alert, when I was out, and I absolutely loved it. I definitely think that in terms of conflict, the conflict was really well done because he like waits so long to tell April basically like who he is. I understood when everything like blew up. It wasn't just like miscommunication. It definitely was like this almost like feeling of a lack of trust between both of them, and a lot of hurt and pain from like just having this like act of omission. And I thought that was like really well done. Even how they came together, I thought it was like the perfect mix of like being very sweet and also like both of them understanding each other well enough to give each other time when time was needed, and also to feel their own emotions but not do anything that might have come off as accidentally manipulative to one another. So I really enjoyed it. It definitely was a 5-star read for me, so I was like very excited. But also I feel like I've had like a pretty good reading month in March in general. I haven't read a lot of books, but I've had a lot of 5-star reads, so I've really been enjoying reading this month, which has been amazing because, like I said, I was doing my midterms recently, so I was going through it TM, but that was really great. Now I'm going to start Honey Girl, which I don't think I'm going to finish this weekend. However, I will pop in, like, later in the week whenever I finish it, because I don't want to rush this one at all. So I am going to either check in with you when I'm done at some point later in the week, or I'll check in with you guys at the end of today. But I'm very excited to read Honey Girl. Definitely think that this will be coming to me at a great time, figuring that I'm so deep in my academic career and I'm about to finish like my master's program, so excited about that. Other than that, today I just want to do some scrapbooking. I have a huge bag of snail mail that, like, these are themes that I've sent out to my pen pals, and I would like to organize them better than this. So I think I'm going to start scrapbooking, like, the themes I've done, because I really have enjoyed a lot of them, and I would like to display them. So that would be great. And other than that, I don't know what I'm going to get up to today, but I'm going to eat some lunch, probably a big salad, and I'll check in with you guys later. Just made a huge salad with lettuce, croutons, chickpeas, onion, grape tomatoes, dry cranberries, vegan Parmesan, vegan Caesar, and these like vegan bacon bits. All good. Very hungry. Okay, hey everyone. It is Thursday, really late at night, practically like Friday morning. But I finished Honey Girl. At this point, just based off of like the strong, like almost visceral emotions I have about this book, there's no way that you're not going to see this on my top favorite books of the year. It honestly came at such a great point in my life. I'm about to like graduate from my master's program, and I genuinely am already dreading just looking for a job. I am definitely the type of person who I work really hard, and I constantly second guess my like level of work, my level of like qualification all the time. And there's like a lot of ways that I see myself in Grace's stories, and just like the moments she has are so raw, so genuine. You see her work so hard, but still she's like this very like vulnerable, weak person who feels lost, feels hopeless sometimes, and is definitely dealing with like mental health issues of her own during all of this. There's such an amazing like found family almost trope within this book. Every like member of her family is just very close knit. You see everybody having like these specific roles, and even when her wife, who we find out later her name is Yuki, gets introduced, she very easily is folded into this like larger family dynamic. And so are her roommates, who are part of her support system. Personally, I loved watching Yuki and Grace interact with one another. You can tell that their relationship is almost kismet. The way they talk about each other is very like poetic, very beautiful, but it still is open to showing like the pain that they've experienced as individuals, the feeling of like monstrosity, and it is so amazing. I found myself being angry, found myself being sad. There's definitely like a lot of moments where you see how every single person in the book struggles in a different way, how they have their own burdens to deal with and overcome, and it really affects everybody in difficult ways, but no matter what, they all support each other in one way or another. There is truly no villain in this book. It's pretty much society and just a battle against self, and it's just so well done. I will lay my life down for Morgan Rogers. Like, it was so good. I'm so happy also that I did not push myself to read it this reading vlog or the reading vlog prior, because I would not have enjoyed it as much as I did. It deserves its like full time to shine, and I'm glad I gave it that. I read it physically like about a third or a half of the time, and then the other half of the time / the rest of the book I listened to it on audio book through Scribd. Both are really great ways to like consume the book. So if you prefer physical, you could do physical, and if you prefer audiobook, you could do audiobook. The book is amazing. I can't say enough about it. I am trying not to say more about it, just not to spoil it, but it's honestly so fantastic, and I really suggest everybody go read it if you're like into any type of contemporary fiction. I will say that the amount of romance in the book is both on the back burner but also really well done. When Grace and Yuki have these moments together, they're very beautiful. Like I said, the writing between the two of them is often like poetic and how it happens, so you really do get that level of romance and like passion and just like connection between two people that's amazing. But at the same time, it's the whole book isn't a romance. It's definitely a lot of discussion about society, a lot of discussion about like pushing yourself, like having these struggles with self-worth, or having these struggles with like identity, feeling hopelessness, especially like after graduation, or even in moments like feeling as if the thing you want to do is not the thing you can do or are supposed to do, every single character, no matter how long we see them in the book, is just so amazing, so well fleshed out. The, like, if you want a book with good diversity rep, also, just, like, this book is it. It is so well, like, cast as well. I really, really enjoyed it. Please, please, read it. But an amazing way to end this reading vlog, a 5-star read. I'm super, super happy. But reading is self-care, especially now that we're in March and it's been a year since the world has completely flipped on its head. More than ever, people are going to start feeling fatigued, burnt out a lot. Please do something that's nice for you. For me, that's reading, so do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself during this time. And I hope that if you are going to pick up a book, it's a really good read. Hoping that everyone has 5 stars, and I'll see you in the next video.